Hello everyone, Mike Haino, instructor for Canadian Ski Guide Association. Today we're going to discuss how to lower if we had to tie two ropes together, as in lowering, passing a knot. So we set up with our standard protocol, making sure that the end of our rope here is clipped back to the anchor in order to make sure that we can't lower our patient off the end of the rope. We have a friction device. In this case, I've decided to use a munter, and we have a backup to our friction device. And in this case, I've decided to use a tied-off munter prusik in anticipation of the knot coming close to our friction device. So, as the knot approaches the friction device, we want to make sure that we set the prusik, tied-off munter prusik, such that we have enough room, I usually like to say at least a fist distance, between the friction device and the knot. This will allow us to get the knot past the friction device. Once the brake is set, what we're going to do is we're going to move our friction device above the knot. So take another carabiner. Another munter. And generally what I like to do is I like to tie off this munter in anticipation of the load transfer. Make sure to lock that gate. Now, we're going to need one more thing, which is our friction device. So our new backup to, not our friction device, but a backup to our friction device, which is a new prusik. Make sure that it's behind the knot. So at this point, unless you're anticipating having to tie another rope to get past the hazard, you can probably just use a standard prusik at this point. Okay, so once our new friction device is in place and our new backup brake is in place, we're ready to start dealing with our initial friction device and brake. So at that point, open the screw gate, take out the original friction device, and now you'll notice that we have quite a bit of slack between our tied-off munter prusik, which is acting as the brake, and our tied-off munter on the main load line. At this point, we're going to undo the tied-off munter prusik. And before I completely release the load, I just want to make sure that this new prusik brake is not going to bite, because I want to be able to continue my lower. So just to minimize confusion, I'm going to take this carabiner out. We're going to release the tied-off munter prusik. Maybe warn your patient, they might feel a little bit of just a subtle jerk as you release the tied-off munter prusik. And then we can begin to lower until such a time as the load comes onto the tied-off munter on the main load line. Once that's happened, you can remove the original prusik. And now the tension is on the tied-off munter on the main load line. We can release that tied-off munter, and resume our lower as we manage the brake. Just one way that we can solve this particular rope problem. There's many ways to solve the rope problem. This just happens to be one of them.